tonight is all about the dream. I have my dream mug, and in my mug, I'm not going to tell you what I'm sipping tonight, but it's all about the dream. When you are a dreamer, you have to make time and take time to dream. So we came on in the height of your week ending. All right. So tomorrow is Friday. I don't know how many of you look forward to Friday, but I look forward to Friday because I know Saturday and Sunday is even more of my time. I'm not in the corporate setting on those days. But I want you to understand that things are all about the timing. Today is all about the timing. At your earliest convenience, I want you to pause, take whatever you are sipping, out of my dream mug today. Whatever you're sipping, whatever your beverage of choice is for happy hour today, I want you to understand that some of the things that you are working on, that you are believing for, that you are diligently seeking, it takes time. Timing is everything. So Ecclesiastes 3, I want you to read those first 11 verses, and it talks about the time for this and the time for that, the time for this and the time for that. Everything has a timing. Your dream is worth the timing that you're having to have to put in to get to that point. So that's one of the reasons. Hello, Miss Irene. That's one of the reasons why we do happy hour at various times. Sometimes you don't need happy hour on Friday. You need happy hour on Thursday so you can make it to Friday. Sometimes you don't need happy hour on a Monday. You need it on a Tuesday. So happy hour varies from time to time because situations, circumstances, they vary from time to time. So wherever you are, the master mixologist mix for you a dream portion tonight. A dream portion. So we're going to call our drink of choice for happy hour your dream portion. I don't know what you're working on. I don't know what you have your hands in. I don't know what you feel like this could not last forever. I want you to know that your dream is worth the effort and the energy that it takes for you to put into it. The ultimate sacrifice that you're making now to make this happen. Do it. Please don't stop. I beg of you. Let me give a little scripture. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, that you make time to work on what you're working on. Either you're going to work on it and complete it, or you're going to talk about it and the time will still pass by and you will still not have accomplished what you put your heart to do. Some things take time. You never expect to get filet mignon by dropping through the drive-in at the local hamburger shack. Come on. When you're working on a dream portion, let's talk about a dream portion for a moment. A dream portion takes time, it takes effort, it takes quality, it takes skills, it takes strategy to work on the dream. And the dream that you chose to work on, the plan that you chose to work on, you knew when you entered into that was not going to be an overnight. When you order a filet mignon, when you order that cut of meat, number one, that says class, because most times it's the most expensive cut on the menu. So you're not driving through for fast $5 for $1 burgers. You are having a filet mignon prepared by a chef who's skilled. The meat, the aging process of the meat, all of those things have to be taken into consideration. The prep time, the cooking time, and the temperature. And you're complaining about how hot it is, how tight it is, how long it's been in that dream portion that you are creating. It's worth the effort that you're having to have to put in it. Hold on, I'm going to drink to that because you know what? I salute your dream tonight. Now that's good. That's good. I support your dream. I support your effort. I push you from behind. I am your personal cheerleader. Rah, rah, rah. All I'm going to say is just do it. Keep it going. Don't you dare stop because of those things that are trying to get in your way. Your dream is worth the effort and the pursuit, the extra energy. You are not driving through a drive-in, a drive-through for a $5 burger. You have ordered filet mignon. It takes time. It takes precision. It takes effort. It takes a special cut of meat that have gone through the aging process in order for when it is served to you, when it is delivered to you. It's going to be good. But it took time. It took effort. So I speak to the dream of your dream and say, let me push you on this Thursday evening happy hour. If you have to play this back to yourself 10 times until you get it down in here, you are worth the sacrifice that you're making. You're worth the sacrifice that it takes every month to come in for happy hour, to be in the atmosphere and in the surroundings and in the presence of others that's going somewhere just like you. Others that don't mind working, don't mind sacrificing, don't mind making the effort, don't mind stopping and planning and coming up with a strategy to make this thing happen. The chef didn't just come in and say, oh, I'm going to prepare filet mignon. That's a process. The aging, the cut, the timing, the temperature, it's all about making it good. It's all about making you good. Getting you to that point where what you planned, what you desired, what you dreamed of, what you felt, what you saw, what you desired is coming to pass. I want you to begin to work on your dream with all of your might. I want to say, as I put in some portions to whatever you're drinking tonight, that because the dream has not come, Habakkuk 2:2 say, though the vision tarry, what must you do? You got to wait on it. Ecclesiastes 3 tells you so much that you got to do about the timing of things. It's a time for this and it's a time for that. It's a time for waiting. It's a time for producing. It's a time for giving. It's a time for receiving. It's a time to live and it's a time for some things to die. Ecclesiastes 3 will speak to your dream and help you to better understand. You better not tilt that over. You don't want to see me jump up out of this chair, all right? I know you're my co-host, but you don't want me to jump up if this spill on me. All right, so let me get back to it. So our drink of choice this afternoon, it's called the dream portion. And the things that I'm going to put in your dream portion are going to be some things to let you know that this situation is only temporary. Give it time. Put in your effort. Continue to be persistent. Continue to be consistent. Continue to work on your goals and your objectives. Continue to discontinue what you need to discontinue. Continue to focus on what you need to focus. And while you're adding to your life, adding to your strategy, working on your dream portion, whatever that is. And my dream cup is not a tiny little espresso mug. What I'm working on, happy hour family, it takes a mug. Now, this is a grown lady's mug right here. This is not no little teacup, because I'm not working on teacup things. I'm working on major things. You are working on major things. In order for those things to come to pass, you got to stick with it. You got to stick with it. So as I add to your dream portion tonight, I want you to know that some of the things that's in your cup, that's in your dream, are only temporary. They are just things in the process and in the regimen as you navigate to where you're going. It is so worth it where you're going that I want you to continue working on it. When I say temporary, Ecclesiastes 3 talks about the timing of things. Some things that happen between this and that, they are only temporary. Habakkuk 2:2 says, hold on, keep working it, even though the vision hasn't come to pass yet. So the first thing I'm going to drop in your portion tonight is a drop of yet. It hasn't happened completely, but you're working on it. And so though the vision tarry, yet must you wait on it and keep working the progress, keep working the strategy, keep working it, keep it moving. Let me give my own self 5. Keep moving, love. Keep moving you. Keep moving you. Keep moving in your head. Keep moving in your heart. Keep moving in your dreams. Keep moving in your efforts. Keep moving. Don't you dare stop, because some of this stuff is only temporary. So the first portion in your drink of choice is a dose of yet, though the vision tarry. You're not there, but you're working on it. You're not there, but you're planning it. You're not there, but you are working the process to get you there. You're not there yet, but you have a strategy. You have a plan in mind. You are going somewhere that is major. And it takes all that you have and all that you're putting into it to get you there. So first portion is going to be yet. Can you say yet? I'm working on it, but yet it hasn't happened, but yet it is not over. It's still the dream that you are dreaming. And I want you to know that the second portion of what's going to be so important in your drink of choice tonight, in your dose of encouragement and inspiration at happy hour, it is temporary. So I need you to pour. I need you to pour a slug of temporary in your dream, because some things cannot last forever. They are only temporary. So when I say temporary, when we add temporary to our drink of choice, to our life, to our strategy, to our goals, to our objective, to your plan, the temporary means that it's only lasting for a limited period of time. I speak to everything that you're working on and every obstacle that's in the way, that it is only temporary. You got more yet in your cup than you got temporary, because you're working on a dream. I dare you to find your dream and work it. Can you yell at me, work that thing? That's what I want you to do. I want you to work that thing. Work that thing. Let me see who's talking to me. It's only temporary. Hello, Callista. It's only temporary. And temporary means for a limited time. Well, in the meantime, while yet and temporary are present, what you got to do? Work it. Yes! You got to work it. Work it, baby. Work it, sister. Work that thing. If it's going to work for you, if it's going to produce for you, if it's going to bring increase to you, if it's going to add to your life, if you're going to finish your program, if you're going to get the promotion, if you're going to go to management, if you're going to get healed, what have you got to do? Have a strategy, have a plan, and work that thing. Yes! Washington, you got to work that thing. Laura, you got to work it. It will not happen automatically. You got to work it. So when it's temporary, that means lasting only for a limited period of time. It is not permanent. So you need to stir in your dream portion. Excuse me. And know that this place that I'm in is a place of progress. It is not permanent. It's only temporary. So in my dream portion, what you drink in my dream portion, what's in it? Yet and temporary. When it's temporary, that means it's only short term. It's only a short time before you reach your short-range goals, your mid-range goals, and your long-term goals. Where are you going to be 30 days from now? You got a plan. Where are you going to be 60 days from now? You got a plan. Where are you going to be in 90 days? You got to plan it. Where are you going to be this time next year? Think about it. This cannot stop you. This temporary inconvenience can't even afford you and where you're going. So let me encourage you that this stuff is only temporary. When it's temporary, that means it's interim. It's short term. It's going to be brief, but it's there and you got to work through it. When it's temporary, that means it's short-lived. It can't last forever. You can't be at the beginning forever. You can't be in this level of pain and discomfort forever. Some stuff is just temporary. And you got to treat it like it's temporary. You got to treat it like it is not permanent. You got to treat it like it's here today, but will be gone tomorrow. You got to work through the process. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep your eyes on your goal, on your prize, on your ending objective. Where are you going? You're going somewhere big because you got a dream. You got a focal point in mind. And though the vision tarry, you got to wait on it. And while you're waiting, you got to make sure yet. That means it hasn't happened yet. And then you got to make sure you rightly divide what is temporary. When it's temporary, that means it's just something passing. Temporary doesn't mean that it's going to be there forever and it's going to last forever. So I speak to what's supposed to be passing in your life, in your process, in your goals, in your walk, in your health, in your finances, in your mindset. Some things were never intended to be permanent. So if you made it permanent when it was only temporary, let it pass, let it pass, let it pass, because it is not permanent. Some things want to appear that it is permanent, but you make the choice, you make the decision. This is not going to last forever, not for me. So tonight, in your dream portion, I want you to play this back until you get it down and can repeat it and live it and process it word for word until you can get it enough of it in you that you begin to process your way through the obstacles and begin to announce to some stuff and some people, look, you're not permanent. You are temporary. See, when you start telling stuff, oh, I recognize you, you are nowhere near what I ordered. This is just a fast burger until my steak get ready. Yes, all right? So some things are short-lived, and you got to recognize that. Some things are just here today and will be gone tomorrow. It cannot last forever. Some things are not permanent. So the temporary stuff goes along with the process. You might start out at the beginning of the process. One day you're going to be to the middle, and then that time is coming where you're going to end the process. So no matter how permanent it looks, some things are only temporary. And when you get that down in here, can you just holler at me and say temporary? Temporary. That's all. That's what you got to get. That's your final portion in your dream portion. It's just temporary. It is temporary. This is not permanent. It's temporary. Come on, I can hear you. I can't hear you. Temporary. Temporary. It's only temporary. It's not permanent. That's right, Miss Irene. Yes, Kristen, it's temporary. It's only temporary. I'm only going to be at the beginning just so long before I move to the middle, and then I'm going to be at the end. It's only temporary. Yes, Kim Slade. This is not permanent, not for you. Not for you. Now, for some people, if they accept it as permanent, then it's permanent. But for you and for me, this is just temporary. I'm moving to a better place because this cannot be my lasting and my limiting spot. I'm going somewhere, and I'm going somewhere great. You are going somewhere, and you're going somewhere great. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan. You got to pray. You got to focus. You got to be persistent. You got to be consistent. You got to know within yourself that this is just a temporary spot before the real thing shows up. It's still my dream. It's still in my dreaming process. The dream is just not complete yet. So I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to faint on the journey. But what I am going to do, I'm going to recognize it hasn't happened yet. And then secondly, I'm going to recognize that this is just temporary. It is not permanent. And this is not my ending stop. Temporary means lasting for only a limited period of time. In a little while, all of this is going to change. Let me just speak to your situation. In a little while, all of this is going to change. What must I do in the meantime? I got to keep my attitude straight. I got to maintain my focus. I got to do everything that I need to do to make it happen. And when I've done my part, that's as much as I can do. I'm going to keep working on it. Your situation cannot make you give up. Give up? Who? Me? No. Who? You? Absolutely not. You cannot give up. I thank you for sending in your prayer request, because not only are we working on it, but we're praying about some things. We're believing God about some things. And in a little while, though the vision tarry, Ecclesiastes 3 says there's a time for this and a time for that. Always comparing so you don't get stuck in the time element. So don't get stuck on a day. Don't get stuck on an hour. Happy hour is when you choose to have it. For some, it's that last late night thought. You put it on, you hear it, you play it, you respond. Whenever you hear it, you got to respond. Sometimes it's live when it comes on. The replay is the same. Same information, same ability, same subject, same anointing. Come on, come on, come on. Don't get stuck in the small things and allow them to interfere with what your dream is. Your dream is much larger than the temporary stuff that's trying to detain you. Keep your focus, keep your attention, put all your energy, work that thing, and watch that dream come to pass.